Well, I just finished recording, and I wanted to show you guys, like I said in the last video, it's Thursday, tomorrow's my day, and I said every week, it's been nice all week, and then Thursday, just before, look at my shirt, there's grapple. It's grappling. Like, it's not really ice and it's not really snow, so here we go again. It just started. It's like 2 o'clock. Take a look at the taco over here. It's still just hitting the ground and melting right now, but the 60s back there wants to go out and play. This is show you a bit of what the flash floods are like. There's actually a ridge to drop into it now. It shows you how much it could actually wash out. That has changed huge. That is a lot different than normal. It's almost like a double lane, where normally the width was a lot shorter to get across, but now you got a water crossing, then you lump over and you got another little water crossing. Well, I decided to head up to my favorite area that I haven't been to in forever. I just checked my phone. The last time I was here, I was taking pictures on the road, which is right there. The snowbank was higher than the top of the Tacoma, and it was January 27th. So that was the last time I was here, just to see that I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get back in. This is the road going back in here. And today's April 1st. So January 27th to April 1st, this snow season has prevented me from going in to this area here, which is, like I said, it's my favorite area because it's huge. It's huge. You could go back in here for days and never come back and touch pavement. This is a huge area. Now they did somehow got the road going just to here, cut out the snowbank that was from the plow. Where I took the picture, it's still, I don't know, maybe 4 feet tall. And this road back in here does not look like, I mean, there's obviously been some people trying to get back in here. But just where I'm at, this, I wouldn't even call it snow, whatever this is. It's solid ice. I don't know if I should go back in there. I actually I took a drive today. It's it took me an hour and 45 minutes to get to right here. I don't think it'd be a good idea to go back in here, even though I really want to. Well, against my better judgment, I went ahead and came back in here. There's like a ski slope up here on the other side of this mountain going to the north. It says Summit Mountain. But you can see here, this is the normal road. And no one's been in here for a long, long time. Probably the last person that was in here was me, but check it, you can see the tracks. Right up there is where I got the Lexus stuck pretty bad when I was trying to get to a little cooking spot. Make my way out of here before I get stuck. This stuff is pretty nasty. The trenches coming in, they're so deep that you know, I'm just dragging my diffs and hitting my A-arms. Thing is, it's not regular snow, it's all frozen, so you got to be real careful not to power through that stuff. You can see right here how it's just, there's a little sprinkle of snow on the top because we got some snow this week, but it's an ice block underneath. See that right there? Well, I'm back out running through the break-in process with the 80 series here. I actually came up into the mountains so I could lock the center diff, put it in 4 low, and really kind of slowly cruise around. I've already done maybe 6 heat cycles, so I think this is probably a good next thing. And I still haven't like really driven it over 60 miles an hour yet. So I'm still working on, you know, all the things you're supposed to do to break gears in correctly. It's definitely got some more pep. The gears should bring it back to factory, you know, with the larger tires, and since I lowered the gear ratio up to 488, it's back. I mean, I barely touched the gas, so I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a lot more once I can get on it, but it feels really good. Like it feels really good. Everything's working good. So I went to Advance Auto. I dumped my old diff oil and stuff because at 500 miles, like I said, I gotta drain it all out. So I wanted an empty container. I did pick up some gear oil for the transfer case while I was there because there was a noise coming from something, and it sounded like a wheel bearing. That's why I haven't been driving this that much until I did the, you know, kind of the complete tear apart. But everything's new now, and I still get a little bit of noise when I transition from kind of on the gas to letting it coast. I get a little bit of vibration noise. It sounds like a bearing noise. So I had my hand on the transfer case shifter just to see if you can, you know, sometimes you can actually feel the noise that you hear. It's really hard to identify, so I'm not sure what that is. I went ahead and changed the transfer case oil. It looked fine, but I don't know what someone had put in there before, so I put in some good. I usually use AMSOIL, but they didn't have any. They squishy Valvoline one, so I went with a Lucas oil. It only takes just under 2 quarts, like 1.8 quarts or something for the transfer case. So just 2 bottles of that, run that for a while, and I'll go through and do everything again when it's time to drop the diff oils. That way I know that everything has been set at the same time. But it's funny jumping, like I drove the GX470 over to get the oil and stuff, and then jumping out of that and into this, there's such a difference. It's really funny that, you know, the GX drives like a, you know, very comfortable truck or car on the road, you know, light steering, really good power with that V8, and then you get in this bad boy and it's definitely old school, you know, it has that old school feel. A little bit harder to turn, you know, bigger tires, slow, lifted. It's just really funny, the differences between them. But man, it's been a tough couple of weeks. I really had to put in some work for this, but hopefully, I mean, let me just say this. I had some concerns with how stiff the hubs were once I put everything together, even though I set the bearing preloads correctly. The new axles, you know, new CVs, they're really tight. So when you put it all together with new felts on the back of the knuckle, that tightens it up as you're just steering it by hand right there locally. So I thought that may be an issue. Turns out it's not. Everything went together good. I was able to knock all the races out, put in new races without messing anything up, get all new bearings in at all 4 corners. Everything went together good. New axles in front, same axles in the rear. The stock axles are still in the back because they still look fine. No reason to change them. I'm just letting the gears cool down, sitting here talking to you guys. I was going to, well, I didn't know. I thought maybe I'd go out right here. This is one of my cooking spots. Oh, check this out. So now that the snow is gone, right there, right there. Now that the snow is gone, you could see my little charcoal dumps from my little charcoal cooker. But this was pretty thick snow. But this is my spot, one of my spots, like half-day trip, get out, do some off-roading back all in through here, and on my way out, I stop here and cook. Didn't know if I was going to do that today. And then I ended up working on the GX470. Thank God I did. Everything was loose. And then I changed the oil in this. And then I'm just decided to go ahead and do some more cycles so I can get through this break-in process and really put this thing to work. Now, I haven't done the wiring yet for the lockers. I put on the clip. They're just like, it's just a clip waiting to be plugged in. And I'm going to hook it up to the factory switch here. Got the factory diff lock switch instead of putting 2 big old switches down in the center console here. That'll be pretty cool. So I'll have a trigger wire from the ignition that goes to that switch, and then I'll have 2 wires coming off the switch for rear and then for front. So when the rear turns on, it only sends that. When you turn it to the next one, it goes front and rear together. That's how that switch works. And then up under the hood, I'll have a breaker from the battery. I'll have 2 fuses, and then the wiring to the front and back. If it was a air locker, I'd have to have some resistors and stuff because it looks at the pressure switches. It's a little bit more complicated when it comes to the air lockers. You wouldn't think it would be. You'd think that it's just air, but the wiring is just a little bit more complicated because there's pressure switches that have to maintain like 90 psi to have your lockers engaged. Plus you have to have your compressor on, and it'll kick back on if that pressure drops. I have it in the Jeep, but I didn't actually do that wiring. So yeah, I waited about 15-20 minutes now. It should be cooled down enough to to roll on out of here. I think I'm just gonna call it a short vlog this week, you guys. It's like, look, I've off-roaded every weekend hard through the winter, and it was a blast. And now it's like a perfect day though. It's 70 degrees. It's like so perfect. I got my shorts on. My legs are white. my knees are starting to get red from driving around. But it's like perfect weather out. I love it. The transition from winter into summer here it's glorious. It's like the most perfect weather of anywhere I've ever lived. But I missed, you know, it's been a little light, but that's okay. I had talked about that. I didn't want to just throw out stupid videos, you know, just as fillers. So if I don't have something good or something interesting to share with y'all, I'm just not going to post like I did. Transitional time, it's time for maintenance. It's time for maintenance. And a lot of this maintenance is little here and there. None of it would really be worthy of a video. So all that being said, I think this thing's cooled down enough. I'm gonna go back and I'm going downhill, so I coast on you got the drive side and the coast side of the gears. You got to make sure that you're driving and then you're coasting. You're driving, you're coasting. So this is gonna help. I did a lot of drive gear going up, and I'll do a lot of coast going down. Good for the break-in. Well, I hope you guys found some of this interesting. Good to see you all again. Got plenty of stuff coming up. Plenty of good stuff. I've got a lot of fun ideas that I want to do. And now that the snow is gone, it's not going to limit us. There's some areas, big, huge areas that got eliminated for 2 months because there was too much snow. And I thought I'd never say too much snow, but it was literally impassable. I couldn't didn't matter if I had the Jeep or what. So I've been limited to some of the smaller areas. I'll be able to get back into the bigger areas where I really love off-roading, and there's some beautiful spots to set up and camp and cook up there. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you all next weekend.